Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A live look at Exact Track 4D radar. The forewarned weather team right now tracking snow showers moving into Metro Detroit. We haven't said that very often this season.
That's right, but here we go. Let's take a live look at our Southfield sky cam pointing at I-696, where the roads could become slick overnight with freezing temperatures. So if you have to go out, use caution and be on the lookout for potential icy spots on the road. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. Let's start things off here at 11 with forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams with a look at our current conditions. Kim.
Well, we've certainly seen everything. We've had snow, sleet, freezing rain, you name it, and we got it this evening, and we're still getting some very light snow across Metro Detroit. Those roads are wet, however, so you do need to be careful if you're headed out. It has dried out in Sterling Heights, Birmingham, Beverly Hills. A few flurries up in Rochester, dry now in Mount Clemens, Fraser, and Roseville. The Grosse Pointes are still getting some very light snow. It might even look just like mist to you, as this is very fine, wet snow that we've had. Road temperatures we're keeping a very close eye on because they have now dropped below freezing. So anywhere west of Detroit below freezing, city of Detroit and downriver right at freezing. So those roads are going to get that thin glaze of black ice over the next few hours. So it's 30 in Pontiac, 33 at Metro, hanging on above freezing at City Airport, 31 in Ann Arbor, and 30 in Howell. Now tomorrow will be dry. We're hoping to get a little sunshine, fingers crossed. It does look like we'll get at least a little sunshine tomorrow. It'll be the coldest day of the week with a high of 34. Then we warm up for the weekend, but it does look like more snow is on the way. For your morning commute tomorrow, though, to check out those road conditions and see what's going on, the best thing to do is make sure you've downloaded our Forewarned Weather app. You can go to your favorite app store and type in WDIV.
Now new here at 11 tonight, hundreds of pages of unsealed documents from the Jeffrey Epstein case were released tonight for the first time.
The documents related to the accused sex trafficker are being released on a rolling basis and contain excerpts of depositions taken of Virginia Giuffre and Ghislaine Maxwell. Giuffre claimed Epstein sexually abused her and that Maxwell aided in that abuse.
Now, there are a number of references to Britain's Prince Andrew and former President Bill Clinton, who previously acknowledged to flying on Epstein's private planes, but says he knew nothing about Epstein's crimes, and he has not been accused of any crimes nor wrongdoing related to Epstein.
Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty of child sex trafficking in 2021, is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence. Giuffre and Prince Andrew previously reached a settlement in her sexual abuse lawsuit against him, and he has denied all allegations. Other names mentioned in the documents include the late New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson and American investor Glenn Dubin. It's important to note that inclusion in the released documents is not an indication of wrongdoing or any law breaking. All right, buying Gucci, Lululemon, and a trip to Hawaii. These are just some of the ways two Lansing aides are accused of misusing money.
Annie and Robert Menard worked for former State House Speaker Lee Chatfield, a couple in court today, pleading not guilty to embezzlement charges. Political experts tell us it was a well-known secret in Lansing. The Menards were up to something, and now those allegations are spelled out in a lengthy affidavit. Jacqueline, sorry, go ahead.
That's right. You know, they did say that people in Lansing suspected something was up, and then just last month the AG announced these charges, and today the Menards, both of them, were back in court.
In court Wednesday, the Menards pled not guilty to a list of felony charges. Annie and Rob Menard worked for former House Speaker Lee Chatfield as his Director of External Affairs and Chief of Staff. Among their alleged frauds, the affidavit states the Menards were reimbursed for things they didn't pay for in the first place, including a trip to Hawaii.
I think what I was surprised at was the blatant use for personal stuff.
Political strategist Dennis Darnoy says this includes the allegation that Annie Menard used nonprofit accounts tied to Chatfield to fund her own personal shopping spree.
I mean, it's one thing to, pay off a trip or, to pick up a dinner or something like that. But this, Gucci, there is no legitimate use of that fund for that purchase.
According to the affidavit, Annie Menard made a $7,800 Gucci purchase in December 2020. Around that same time, it's also alleged she used the fund to pay for a $391 Spanx purchase, $540 at Lululemon, and a nearly $1,400 purchase at Lilly Pulitzer.
That is glaring. That is, in my personal opinion, arrogant to say, you know, we're above this, I'm going to use this fund for that. There's no way you can justify that.
In court Wednesday, Annie Menard's attorney did have this to say when telling the judge why she should be released on bond.
The nonprofits at issue do not involve money spent for the needy or the poor, so she is not alleged or charged with taking money from the poor. These were political funds, to the best of my knowledge.
The Menards are out on personal recognizance bonds. They're due back in court on January 19th. Reporting live in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
All right, Jacqueline.
A mail carrier got a big shock on his route today in Troy after he found 2 puppies dumped inside one of those standard blue post office boxes. As Mara McDonald shows us from Berkeley, they were in pretty bad shape, but tonight they're on the mend.
After a really rough start today, take a look. These 2 are in much better shape. They've had a bath, consider it a spa day. They've had their nails done. They drank about a gallon of water and finally got something to eat. A mail carrier on his regular route in Troy found the 2 pups dumped early this afternoon, and the call went out to No Dog Left Behind Rescue for help.
My son has just found 2 puppies in a mail carrier box on the side of the road.
Stacy and Sam said, bring them over.
They were just filthy, horrible. They had everything on: feces, urine, dirt, grease. It was just a little bit of everything on there.
First order of business, into the tub.
They didn't like their first bath too much. But after
How'd that go?
it did go okay, but they were a little scared through it.
Now they smell like sweet peas, their fur feels like velvet, and they're just passed out. The pups are both boys and are terribly thin, and we're very dehydrated.
When they first got here, they seemed like they were shut down. They had given up.
Several hours later, they're both in their sweaters and things are looking up. Stacy thinks they're probably 10 weeks old. When I feel them, they feel just mighty thin.
Yes, they're definitely underweight. It'll take some time to put that weight on them.
So No Dog Left Behind has already found a foster for these 2. And as far as adoption goes, well, probably in another month or so, we're going to have all the details up on clickondetroit.com. We're in Berkeley. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Okay, Mara, thank you. And we received this tip through the clickondetroit.com help desk. So if you have a story you want told, have a question about something we did, or need some help, visit help.clickondetroit.com to check out the help desk, or just click the little speech bubble in the bottom right corner on clickondetroit.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Detroit leaders talking about the encouraging numbers they're seeing when it comes to crime in the city. The 2023 report card shows homicides were down more than 18% from 2022. Total number 252. That's the fewest recorded in Detroit since 1966. Of course, the population was quite a bit higher back then. Police say also, though, non-fatal shootings have dropped more than 15% from last year, and carjackings down 33%. Leaders admit property crimes need more attention, with larceny showing a jump of 11%. The mayor says that's largely due to smash and grab car thefts. But looking ahead, Chief James White says the city plans to launch a spring deployment to get ahead of the crime increase that you sometimes see when the weather gets warmer. Chief White and residents say the numbers, though, encouraging, but more needs to be done.
We've had some significant success, but the work is not over. It's not done. We got a lot more work to do.
I think it's wonderful. You know, I've seen it here. I've seen just how well they're protecting this area.
Worth mentioning, 125 additional officers will be hired to be on the streets, with more efforts to continue the work.
A random drawing fills 3 vacant seats on the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission. Elaine Andrande, Donna Callaghan, and Marcus Muldoon were selected at random to join the commission. They will replace 2 Democrats and a Republican who resigned at the end of last year. This all comes as a federal court today ordered parties to submit potential candidates for a special master who would lead the redrawing of 13 state House and Senate districts.
About 5 days away until the Wolverines take on Washington in the national championship game in Houston. And our Bernie Smilovitz and Hobie RT will be there to bring us all the action from Houston coming up Monday night at 6:30 only on Local 4. A 30-minute program you're going to want to see. Chase for the championship, our special program with player interviews, some super fan stories that you don't want to miss Monday night at 6:30 right here on Local 4 as we get set for the big showdown with the Huskies.